Good evening, PA Figs here. This is another new variety. This is my Sicilian tree. It's a black fig, black Sicilian, Sicilian black. I've heard those names tossed around. This one came from Bill's Figs in Jersey. And I've had this for, I believe, 3 years now. It produces beautiful figs. I mean, really pretty figs. But so far, the last couple of years, they really haven't had a lot of flavor. I'm going to pick a couple tonight and we'll see what they look like. And this is one of those trees that it seems every fig on it ripens at pretty much the same exact time. And normally these figs are much darker. Just absolutely black usually. For some reason this year, they're not quite as dark. I don't know if it's the sun or the temp, but you can see the side not getting hit by the sun it's kind of brownish. It's very unusual for this tree. They're usually black like a Ronde de Bordeaux. But it's pretty dark still. Maybe because this one's dehydrated so much, it started to turn a little brown. But, alright, let's see how they taste. Alright, here's a Sicilian. I picked a couple of the figs. This one's pretty well dehydrated and dried out. If you were to take a look at the couple of different stages of ripeness on these guys. Real closed eye, real tight eye. It's a nice little fig. This is about as big as the figs get. I don't think I've ever had any much larger than this. Smaller fig. They usually have a beautiful red interior. Here's this guy. They actually show a little darker, a little lighter on the video than they really are. You can see there's a couple of healed bird pecks here. Birds have been absolutely brutal this year. Any fig that isn't covered before it starts to turn brown or black, I mean, they've just been nailing. Every single one. It's very unusual for this time of year. I don't normally have that much of a problem with birds, but maybe because it's been so hot, this year they've been terrible. Here's the leaf. Every leaf on the tree is trilobed. I don't think there's a single exception, actually. I think every single leaf is trilobed on this. You can see rust is starting to form on some of the leaves. These brown spots, I believe that's rust. As the season progresses, that tends to happen more and more. Alright, let's see what some of the figs look like. Start with the one that's less dehydrated first. You can see it's a real pretty fig. I mean, just beautiful shape to it. Color inside is gorgeous. As they get a little bit more riper, they really get that jammy texture to them. You can see the one on the left has it beginning there. Alright, and now for the one that is a little extra ripe. Oh yeah, look at that. That's what a fig should look like. See that jamminess inside of there? A little syrupy. And we've had some real hot days without rain. And that's just beautiful. That is just gorgeous. I mean, a fig doesn't get too much prettier than that, to be honest with you. Alright, let's go ahead and I'm going to taste the one that's not quite as ripe first. Let's try this guy. So let's give this guy a go. It's got great texture. Great amount of sweetness, not overly sweet. Has a little bit of that richness, but not much flavor. I don't know what's with this fig. It's a good fig, but it's not a great fig. It has all the potential with the color, the shape, the texture. The seed crunch is perfect, but it just lacks that punch, that Hawaiian punch, berry punch flavor, or that deep wine flavor that you get. Just doesn't have it. Let me try with a more, I'm gonna finish this one off first, but let me try the more ripe one. See if maybe this guy has a little more flavor to it as it ripened. But I mean, look at that. And that's just beautiful jamminess. I don't know if you can see it in the camera here, but I mean, it's just a beautiful syrupy, jammy texture. I mean, it's beautiful. But let's see how it tastes. Better, but it's still kind of the same story. Not as much flavor as you would expect. It's a shame. You know, I mean, this is picture perfect for a fig, but it lacks the flavor of like a Hearty Chicago or a Violet de Bordeaux that gives you that real wallop when you bite into it. Don't get me wrong, this is still good, but if I had side by side the Sicilian and the Violet de Bordeaux, the Sicilian would win in the picture category every day of the week, but the Violet de Bordeaux would win the blind taste test every day of the week. Still, it's a fig that's, if you want a large collection worth having, I wouldn't choose it over Violet de Bordeaux or anything else like that. It is earlier ripening. The Violet de Bordeaux are just starting to swell now and get a little color on them, whereas this Sicilian has a bit of color. Actually, that's probably not fair to say, because the Sicilian did have a week or two jump start in the greenhouse that the Violet de Bordeaux did not have. So, I don't know. It's a good fig. If you're only keeping a few trees, I don't think I would add this to my list. If you're keeping 20 or more trees, then yeah, I would definitely add it, because, you know, a plate full of these sliced, I mean, it just makes a beautiful presentation. The flavor isn't there, but anybody that has this is going to love it if they don't know what a great fig tastes like. So, that's about all I've got to say. This is Sicilian, and this is PA Figs.